Hello, hi, how are you? I'm Robin, welcome back, or welcome to my YouTube channel. This little world right here is man for himself. If you like hair product reviews, grooming, skincare, fragrance, and videos like this very one, then chances are, yes, you are going to love it around here. Please do press subscribe right now. I'm in my office. I never use my office for filming and I thought I will do it. It's a bit sparse. You'll see on Instagram stories, there is a lot more going on than what is now. So if you've got any tips or suggestions to how to oomph this up slightly, then yeah, let me know in the comments. So we are officially into autumn. I think this is like the best season for fragrance. We can be layering our clothing, we can be layering fragrance, we're adding things on, there's more warmth, there's more depth. And there are so many great fragrances that you can be trying out. I just want to focus on niche. Niche. What is niche? I kind of thought I knew what niche was, and then when I actually sort of Googled it and looked at it, I thought, okay, well, niche is not what niche I thought was. So niche really is anything that's not a sort of fashion designer turned fragrance house, so the likes of, I suppose, like Charnel or Dior, or any of the more sort of mass ones, and it's not by a celebrity. So I have got 5 here. Now I'm going to get straight into it. They're all linked down below in the description. I have found the best prices and there are reviews on Man for himself. There'll be more of these videos for autumn, so this is not a top 5. This is just like a really great edit. Okay, the first one I've got for you is Ostens. This is Cashmeran Velvet. This is gorgeous. Impression Cashmeran Velvet. They've got 6 fragrances, each based upon one note or molecule, much like Eccentric Molecules, if you know them. If not, I will link the video that I did. But this one is based upon the molecule of Cashmeran Velvet. This, for me, is autumn because it's warm, it's inviting, it's familiar, it's gorgeous, it's great. I love it. It's great on the skin. And I think out of all of the fragrances that I've got here, this will be the most sort of crowd pleasing. I should say this is £105, I want to say, for 50 mils. Nothing in this is cheap. Nothing in this is budget. Not that affordable. So if that's what you're looking for, might not be a video for you. But it might give you a sort of idea about stuff that you do like. This is just so gorgeous. People have likened this to a love child of Le Labo Santal 33, if you know that one. Really great warmth, a sort of woody note, very familiar. Just something which you feel like you want to wrap around you. A love child of Le Labo plus molecule, because they do base it on this sort of one molecule note. When you do buy one of these, you get the bottle of 50 mils, and then they give you this little, sort of a little one, which is just the molecule they're basing it on. So you can kind of layer them and have a bit of fun with it. But I think this is really great. I love the idea of Ostens. This one is beautiful. This is just easy on the skin. The performance is okay. It's more like a nuzzler, so it's quite an intimate fragrance. The sillage is not like projecting, like, hello, I'm here with my Ostens fragrance. It's more like, oh, what's that fragrance? Quite like that. It's more like that. And then longevity is fine. Like it does kind of last-ish on the skin. But I like this and I will link it. Check it out. Okay, I'm gonna go into, from Ostens, I'm gonna go to BDK Parfums. This is a French brand. I have a couple of these fragrances kicking around, but I don't think I've ever spoken about them, but I am now. Now, this is Gris Charnel. I looked up, like, what is a Charnel or Carnel? Charnel is really a place where they store bodies. And when you sort of look on Google Images, don't do that. There's kind of skeletons and stuff. This is not smelling like death. This smells beautiful. It's fresh, it's open. There's a black tea note in there. There's a fig. I think fig is gorgeous. And then there's this really great bourbon note. So it's got a sweetness and then a woody base, woody earthy base. This one to me is a little like Penhaligon's Roaring Radcliffe. That one has a rum on the top, and then it's kind of got this tonka sort of note. So with this, you do have this really fresh opening, and then there's a slight sweetness. Okay, from Gris Charnel, £150, 100 mils, not cheap. We're gonna move on to a firm favorite of mine. I've spoken about this fragrance in a lot of videos. I also shot with it in Paris. This is Parfumeur Noir Exquis. This is everything that is good about a gourmand fragrance, and it's certainly a fragrance that really lends itself to these sort of cooler crisper months. And this takes inspiration from a French patisserie. So if you can imagine sort of Sunday morning, let's give you this. Sunday morning, you're kind of walking to the bakery, or is it a Saturday, Sunday shop? It's a weekend. And you're sort of meandering down the streets. There's this really great scent of something sweet on the air, which is just drawing you in. And as you get closer to the window, you're looking at all these gorgeous things. Someone may be in the window putting things out, and you've got your eye on it. That's exactly what you want. So you go in, there's this smell of coffee, there's maple syrup, there's that sort of freshness of orange, and then there's like these little woody notes. Woody notes, maybe not so much in the patisserie, but that's what gives it a base on this. Now, it is so gorgeous. The coffee, the maple syrup, the orange, the sandalwood, I'm pretty sure, there's tonka. There's just such great sweetness to it, but without being sickly sweet. And you'll see there, this is one that I always reach for. It is, when we've had the sort of more familiar Ostens one there, this is familiar in a sense of, it's that great jumper that you loved. It's a jacket that's kind of been under your bed in one of those vacuum packed bags, and you've taken it out for winter, and you've just put it on, and it just feels so good. That is what L'Artisan Parfumeur is to me. It is just beautiful artisan fragrances and just the best. This is great. Again, I will link it. Check it out. 130, 140 pound mark. I'll link it. Now, this one is one that I have been wearing non-stop since I received this, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And this is beautiful. I'm obsessed with it. This is Miller Harris Oud Éclat. Now, Miller Harris actually wasn't really a brand that I knew much about. I'd smelt a couple of them. I didn't own any of them. This is so great, and it is just out. Now, this is Oud Éclat, as I just said. When you think of an oud fragrance, you will be thinking, well, I certainly was, of these sort of deep, heavy, almost a bit too like overpowering fragrances with that oud in the heart or in the base or even both. And they sit so well on the skin just because they've got this great performance. Now, what Miller Harris have done is they've flipped this. So they've taken the agar-oud, the oud, from what might be in the heart or the base, and they've stuck it on the top. That totally changes what you get with this. So on first spritz, it is that oud that just jumps out. There's also a sweet base, which gives it just something which is like so much different from the other sort of oud. So there's another oud coming up, and that is more of that sort of smoky oud. There's also leather in this, there's these woodsy notes, there's a floral sort of note there too. But this to me just has a lightness to it that kind of picks it up slightly. You've still got that sort of baller vibe, I think, that you have with an oud. When you spray this and you wear this, you smell expensive. But by having the oud on the top, it just picks it up and it keeps it moving. The projection of this is fantastic. People are gonna smell it around you, and the longevity on the skin and on your clothing is also fantastic. This is so great. This is expensive, but they are doing a 2 ml, so a 2 ml size, I don't have anything 2 ml, for £3.50. I'm gonna link it. I saw it on their website. I think it's a fantastic idea. So if you wanna try it for a lot cheaper, you can do that there. Okay, from a light and bright, I say light and bright, there's still like a bit of depth. There's a lot of depth. From that, we're gonna go to the opposite scale, and we're gonna go for a heavier oud. This is Oud For Greatness, and this is by Initio. Now, again, Initio wasn't really a brand that I knew of. I have quite a few samples from Initio, but when I was sent this by the brand, they said, we think you're gonna like this, and they were right. Now, this is the most expensive out of all of the ones I've got on here. £270 for, 90 mils. So it is pricey. Now, with the Miller Harris, we have that oud on the top. The oud is now in the heart with this. There's a slightly lighter lavender top. There's also, when I say saffron in there, so it kind of has a slight spiciness to it. And then there is a patchouli and a musk base. So there is a warmth to the base and a slight earthiness to it. This is heavier, it's darker, it's deeper, but with that lavender in there, it just seems to round it. So I picked these two ouds out actually because I didn't want anything which was too, there's a fragrance called Royal Oud. There's also one that's just called Oud by Acqua di Parma. Those are heavier fragrances, and I think they lend themselves really well to a winter sort of fragrance. I mean, I would wear it all year round. I want something that's going to kind of like hit you in the face. But if you do want something slightly lighter, and for those more sort of transitionary months, then these could be great for you. This is expensive. This is punchy. It smells decadent. It smells luxurious. It smells expensive. And I think it is so great. And I think with this list, hopefully I'm giving you something kind of for everyone. The BDK, the sort of the tea and the fig, lighter, all the way down, working to something a lot heavier with this. I will link it again. I'll also see where I can find it for shops. If you pass somewhere and you see this or you see any of those, pop in, give it a smell, get a sample and smell it on your skin. But the bottle I'm not such a fan of. I think it's a little nouveau. That's such an awful thing to say. But the scent is beautiful. So don't judge a fragrance by its bottle. So there you go. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to give you a designer one maybe next week, or I can do some more niche. There's so many fragrances I want to talk about. I'm not just going to say a top 5. Also, please give me some tips for what's going on in here. It just feels a little bit bare. And all of these are reviewed on manforhimself.com with so many other fragrances. But thank you again for watching. If you're still new to this, you're still not pressed subscribe, then please do press subscribe right now. The button is there. So some more video suggestions down there. Stay with me and watch them. Head to the fragrance pages, manforhimself.com there, and links including my Instagram. Come across and say hi up there. But until my next new video, bye-bye.